Hey everybody, and welcome to Geeks and Drinks. I'm Jason.
I'm Jordan.
It has been a while, but life happens. We'll talk about what we've been up to the past few weeks in a little bit, but we just want to just get in, starting with the drinks we have, because we really haven't had a drink per se.
Not since the Revens, no.
Yeah, the Darth Revens was so good. But this one, we're going with a festive beer of the time from Hangar 24. This is the Oktoberfest Fall Lager. Not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Not, would you really call it like an Oktoberfest lager, though? Because it tastes like every other lager to me.
That's kind of an Oktoberfest thing. It's the dark lager.
Okay.
So it fits.
Yeah. They just put a new nice shiny label on it.
I mean, it wasn't, a pumpkin beer.
There wasn't really
Pumpkin everything, Jason.
There wasn't a pumpkin beer this time. I'm sure for the next one we'll have pumpkin beer. But let's just jump into the conversation starters for this week. Let's talk about Constantine. We talked about last episode that Matt Ryan is back as Constantine, though not in a live-action sense. This is going to be...
Before, yeah. We've talked about it before. I don't think it was last episode, though.
Was it? Oh, yeah, okay, fine. A few episodes ago. But he's back in his own animated series. We don't know how many episodes yet, do we?
No. As far as I know, no. But, I mean, it's done in the same animation style as Justice League Dark, so that's cool. Which again, it fits. I was hesitant when they mentioned that it was going to be an animated form. I was kind of afraid it's going to be like Justice League,
right?
Like unlimited, and it's kind of whatever. But like we're going to shy away from certain things. But no, and they released a clip, I guess. Is what you want to call that?
It was a 3-minute clip that they showed at New York Comic-Con this past weekend. Just showcasing John Constantine going to an abandoned church, luring some, 4 or 5 different demons, and then introducing some,
Egyptian-looking thing? Yeah.
Yeah. It says, I'm going to feast on these demons, and went to town on them.
I mean, Constantine's just playing both because he can.
Yeah, Constantine just like, I'm here, I'm going to have a smoke while I'm at it, and just let you do your thing. So
doing what he does.
But honestly, I'm kind of fine with that. I mean, I do love the fact that, yes, we are getting more Constantine. Again,
I enjoy that it's dark. Like, I mean, he curses in it. I mean, in the 3-minute clip, we see him light up a cigarette twice.
Yeah. It's... If you're looking for something deep, you're probably not going to find it in this, but
it's
honestly...
on the CW seed.
Yeah. So, you're not going to see this on TV. You'll just see it on streaming options out there. It doesn't come out until 2018. But this won't be the only time we see Matt Ryan reprise his role as John Constantine, because we saw him, 2 seasons ago in Arrow in like a single episode?
Yeah.
Apparently that's not enough, because while the CW will always, or very recently will say, there's no need to have a live-action Constantine series right now, let's bring Constantine back, but not in Arrow. We're going to bring it to another CW
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow. But that's also going to be a one-off.
That's fine.
Are they still just trying to test the waters to see what fits for this character?
No, I feel like now they're just like, okay, we'll keep throwing him in there just
to
remind you that he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to write him off. But I mean, think about it. He's already gotten more than Vixen. No, sorry, Vixen had a small web series.
Yes.
And now we're also getting I want to say Black Lightning. But
he has his upcoming series.
But they're not calling him that.
What are they calling him?
I think maybe just Lightning. I think they're trying to avoid the racistness of the Super Friends bits.
Okay.
Well, they even made fun of that in Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Did they?
Yeah. They made the whole comment where what, you think I want to be called Black Lightning? I want to be called Super Volt. But then Aquaman was like, no, we're going to call you Black Lightning. And I was like, how about we call you Whitefish?
I do not remember this.
Yeah.
God,
it was Phil Lamar doing the voice of Black Lightning, and he's like, nah, you racist as shit.
All right, I'm going to have to go back and watch that then.
I'm amazed you don't remember that.
There's a lot of things that just lose...
I'm told that happens with age.
That's why I drink to hide the pain. But anyways.
So was everything in black and white back then, or was it just like in them talking pictures that kind of rocked your world when you first saw it?
Yeah, the talking pictures just blew my mind back in the day. What didn't blow me away? The new Justice League trailer.
Honestly, I was cool with it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I still don't like The Flash. Because I think Ezra Miller is just kind of, nah. I think they could have easily found someone better and less creepy.
The worst.
I mean, there's the whole thing to me. It doesn't jive with what I was hoping for.
No, but I think this is going to be a step in the right direction.
One can hope. I mean, because let's face it, the debacle that was Batman v Superman.
Okay.
That definitely.
Or Man of Steel.
Man of Steel had some promising scenes, but that's it. You really didn't like Man of Steel at all, did you? There were some parts of it I actually did enjoy, but overall,
How everything was unnecessarily dark.
Well, we've always made that joke that
Dude, that was one of the best things when someone's like, if you just tweaked the color, look how much more amazing this looks. Can you tell which one's which? Everyone was like, yeah, that one looks awesome. That's the one I adjusted.
Because everything's dark and
Yeah,
gritty.
but when they brightened it up and he actually looked like he was wearing red and blue like Superman's supposed to fucking wear.
Not like midnight navy.
It looked awesome.
Yeah. But I look at it as Man of Steel had some potential. Bats v Soups sucked. We have
Best part of it was Batfleck.
yes, and we've gone back and forth a few times on the upcoming Batman solo films. They're still trying to figure out what that's going to be all about. The next one we have right here was
then we had Wonder Woman,
which I really enjoyed.
I enjoyed. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a solid
B plus,
B, not even B plus, just B.
just B.
And I think a lot of that was just because I was happy to see like a strong female character. And then I'll talk about it again later. I recently watched the Alien series because I hadn't watched it
Right.
before. Sorry. But James Cameron came out and he got a lot of shit for just kind of saying she wasn't that great of a strong female character.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And after watching the Alien series, yeah, I get it. I'm
She
sorry.
was kind of there for that.
I'm sorry, Ripley? Or, yeah, no, it's Ridley. Because Ripley's the fucking Samus. But Ridley was like a strong female character. Like, she's never fawning or swooning after some dude.
Right.
Like, she had, like, the closest she got was when she had that weird Marine dude in number 2. And that was real quick. And she still saved his ass twice.
Yes.
And it wasn't like, it's because I love you. It's like, quit being a bitch. I need to save you. Let's go. But for the most part, I thought Wonder Woman was just kind of okay.
I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of aspects to it that
We called it like over halfway through.
We did. It was.
We're like,
it was
it's
very-
Ares, and that's Ares.
Yes, it was very predictable, but to me, it was also very Marvel-ish, if that makes sense.
It was more. It played like more of a Marvel movie than a DC movie. Yeah.
And I really enjoy all the Marvel movies, so I guess maybe I'm just more biased down that path. Not saying it's better or worse, it's just that I am a fan of these types of films, and this one was more closer.
You realize
to that
if
side
you
of film.
compare it towards a Marvel movie, even then that's not saying much. Because yeah, if you put in front of me, do you want to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or Wonder Woman? I'm gonna pick Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, would you rather watch Iron Man 2 and 3 or 3 or watch Wonder Woman? Yeah, I'm gonna watch Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than Marvel's worst, but it does not compare against Marvel's
why
best.
I give it a B plus.
B.
It has a
Solid
lot.
B.
I give it a B plus on that. But anyways, none of the cast aside from Wonder Woman and Batfleck really work for me. Everything we've seen so far with the trailers for Justice League. Although I will say,
I say for the movies we've seen, I'll give you that. Wonder Woman's good. Batfleck is amazing. But this trailer,
Jason Momoa as
dude,
Aquaman.
the
Not
se-
really that.
Yeah, the second I told you that, you're like, yeah, that fucking works because it's not Aquaman. We're getting Jason Momoa, like, and that's cool because Aquaman's always been like, I'm dark and brooding because no one wants to see him be that, like, basically Ken riding a giant seahorse.
That's why you got so much shit.
Come
for
on,
so many
old
years.
chum. Come on. Early 90s when it's like, how can we make Aquaman more badass? Well, let's murder his son. Let's take away his hand and give him a giant hook and some guy liner. Remember, because there was even part of it where he had like the dark under eye. It's like, really? The fuck is this?
Yeah, I'm sure they went to Jason Momoa and went, "Cool, you're on
Do
a
you
break.
need any source material? No, just do your thing.
no.
Just read the lines as if it was you.
Just have fun with this," and that's all you need to say.
Yeah.
And I could see that part being the best part of this film.
Yeah.
Even better than Batfleck on that.
No, Batfleck's where it's at.
So we'll have to see what happens with that.
But the sad part is, it's like, this is Cyborg's big coming out, and no one's talking about him. No one cares.
No. The only other thing that people will talk about this is Ezra Miller as Flash, and still
some people are very polarized. Like I've yet to see someone that's kind of like, yeah, he's all right. Like, I'll wait to see what happens.
No, it's either he looks amazing or what the hell
they either
is this?
love him or they're condemning him.
Yeah, and what you're going to get anyways, just for the sole fact, and we've talked about this numerous times, that DC is playing massive catch-up at this point, and it's going to forever be compared to the successes and failures of the MCU.
I was going to say that, and it's often being compared to the Arrowverse.
Well, that's the other thing DC has a problem with, is that it's separate.
It's keeping its two toys in two different boxes.
Yes. Their TV series, for the most part, really
bad.
good. I enjoy them. The movie stuff, they're more misses than hits.
I mean, I'm excited to see where the shows are going to go now, because I think, at least, I feel like Arrow, they're probably going to end soon. I think they'll probably get like another season or two.
But two seasons tops.
The Flash, they're going to keep around, and it sounds like they're actually fixing the Flash. Because I told you my biggest problem with the shows. All right, we have Arrow. What's his villain going to be? Well, what are Arrow's powers? He can fight, and he's really good with a bow. We'll give him a Dark Archer. Okay, what about Season 2? Another Dark Archer.
Yeah.
Didn't we just do that? Nah, not the same. Season 3.
Giant
this
gorilla.
guy has some special powers. But what else does he have if he doesn't have that? Because he'll randomly lose it. Because he'll be too overpowered against the guy with an arrow.
Right.
We'll make him really good at fighting and give him an arrow. Because he used to be part of the League of Assassins. The shit. The last season, we're going to give you another Dark Archer. We just went over this. There have been like 4 seasons of Arrow
either
already.
have him fighting someone with an arrow, or you see shots of him training.
That's what annoyed me the most about the first season. Like, over half the episodes were just like him like on that fucking salmon ladder going nuts.
Yeah, him shirtless, just beating the
They
crap
did the
out.
same thing with the Flash too, but the new season of the Flash, they're introducing the Thinker, which is basically what happens when someone's just blatantly super smart, and especially smarter than the Flash.
Right.
Cool. We're not having him go against someone that's just... What's his powers? He can run really fast. Well, that's the villain's powers. He can run really fast.
Yeah.
They even split Zoom.
Did they? I'm a bit behind.
Yeah, no, think about it. The first season, you had Professor Zoom.
Right.
And then you had Reverse Flash again.
Yes.
And then you had Reverse Flash, which turned out to be Eobard Thawne, which is Reverse Flash. And then you had Zoom, which is the second, to the best of my knowledge, is Reverse Flash's second name. Zoom or Reverse Flash. And guess who the villains of season 1 and 2 were? 2 different dudes being the same character, because that's how you have him face someone that can run really fast.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So the question is, where can they go with like Legends of Tomorrow then? I mean, they're already starting to lose some of their main cast members too.
Well, I've yet to watch a single season. I've seen like the crossover episodes.
Okay.
But a lot of it is just I know one of them was I can't remember his name. Lives forever, was a caveman.
I can't remember the character.
God, he's immortal. He was the bad guy in Justice League Doom.
I could see the face. I can't place the name.
Any hoozle.
Yeah.
Like, he was the main villain of that. Like, he showed up for one episode of the Arrowverse, like, as a crossover, and then just kind of stayed as that villain. Then they did, like, a Legion of Doom thing, and whatever.
Yeah.
That show did not look good, so I've yet to give it a go.
Of course, it's funny that we've been talking about all of this, but there is one CW series that I haven't really heard talked about at all in the past year. And that was Supergirl, yeah.
Because none of us watch it. I'm sure maybe if one of us watched it, we might care. Because I'll see stuff for it all the time, like cosplayers will dress up as her.
The trailers for it, and like in this
but
next
I know
episode,
nobody
this
that's
looks
watching
awesome. Yeah, I've yet to come across the person.
Well, one of my coworkers does, but he watches garbage anyways.
Oh, okay, so he's not a good judge of that. Okay, moving on from Justice League, let's talk about the second trailer for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. In this one, we're starting to see just enough. It's more footage. You're getting some story hints here and there, but overall, there's still a ton to question.
Yeah.
And a lot of this trailer that I really enjoyed, a lot of it was misdirection.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Even the climactic scene at the end, where you see
Snoke.
Ray
we see Snoke in his gold robes.
Yes, which basically looks like in the next scene, holding Ray up and like torturing her.
I
or
would say just
something.
torturing. So I wouldn't even. It looks like he probably just like pushed her back and just kind of held her there,
Right.
like before she hit the ground.
But even after that, she's saying like, I need to find someone to guide my place in all of this. And then you see the next scene of why do we need to have him?
Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Let me phrase that. I've said numerous times that I think he could be a badass villain by the end of the trilogy. But watching this, I'm starting to wonder.
Is it because he looks like a tire where it's losing its like rubber?
Yes.
Because like he had like the weird like just metal poking through.
Yes.
Which is also what makes me question where that places in terms of this movie. Because if you notice, a lot of the trailer, you see him with that weird metal shit on his face, like the weird wrap.
Which I'm thinking that's just like a medicinal coverage or something.
Yeah,
like
but when he's the whole handout to Rey thing, that's not there.
Yeah. That's why I'm going to get to that point. If you look at both of those scenes, it's lit completely differently. The background's completely different. It's definitely misleading to something else. Plus the whole scene in there where you see Kylo going back and forth, like, is he going to blow up,
Well, we're assuming he's probably going to blow up Leia.
Well, given the fact that
Carrie Fisher.
They've already made the announcement that they will find a way to
CG her in the third one.
No, end her story nicely in the third movie.
Yeah.
So that tells me right now that scene was just pointless at that point. You're trying to garner hype for this movie, and that it's just going to happen. Is he actually going to go for it? You know, we already killed one father. Let's go, or one parent. Let's kill the other parent. I really don't think it's going to happen in this. He's going to veer off. And
so, did you hear the theory that apparently, like, Han Solo killed himself?
Yes, I did hear that. The fact that you see that scene where he grabs the lightsaber, or the
did he jam it into himself?
That he held to try to help him, and whatnot. I've heard that. I can see that point of view.
It's bullshit. I don't think Han would do that. We already know him as a coward. Why would he kill himself?
See, that's where that theory falls apart, mostly because you want to see him try to do something for his son, but that's not really Han Solo's way.
Yeah, he would not have
whatsoever.
That's one thing he would not do for his son willingly.
Yeah. Elsewhere in this, you see Luke train Rey a little bit, trying to reach out to the Force and starting to break some rocks and whatnot, and he freaks out. It's like, I've seen this power before.
Yeah, this raw, untapped power. Like, they keep trying to make a big deal about it being raw, untapped.
Yeah.
Which, because it makes sense. This is the first time we're getting Jedi and Sith that are just, they're untrained.
Yeah.
Like, there's no order. Literally.
Mm-hmm. This is why I'm hopeful. I'm really hoping this will happen, but please, Disney, allow this to happen. I think by the end of this trilogy, we'll finally get a Grey Jedi. I really hope we'll get that. Not one that's, white and black. You have to be a Jedi.
Yeah, Jedi or Sith.
Yeah. That I am powerful. I am one with the Force, but I am one
the Force is with me.
of just. Plus, also the one thing that I always jump back to when I watch these trailers for The Last Jedi is you see a small bookcase with some books on it.
Yeah.
When is the last time you've ever seen actual physical manuscript in the Star Wars universe?
Episode 2.
Where?
They go to the full-on fucking Jedi library.
Those are just columns, and they're just sitting there in front of hologram kiosks.
Not necessarily. You can assume there's probably actual written tomes there.
I really
Because
don't.
you can see where everything, there's like vertical little book-shaped
I still want...
doobly-doos. I mean, granted, it could just be like hard drives.
Yeah. That's the way
Or just
I
access
look at
points,
it.
but...
That's why I look at just a giant,
I'm sure Yoda had one or two books stashed away in his little hut.
Never saw them in the past of it. Just the fact
Because we've never we've never looked for it.
True. Of course, I wonder if it's like anything to do with the wills that you saw in Rogue One. The will of the wills. They had their whole manuscript on it. Maybe that's part of it.
Could be. I mean, granted, I'm assuming we're going to see Luke trying to recreate the Jedi Order and then it all turning to shit.
Hence that one scene of his mechanical arm busting through the debris and him trying to cover in the foreground.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can assume that's probably him recreating the Jedi Academy, and then it...
Here's the thing, though. If they're trying to... some people are looking at this, that he's seen this power before. Are we thinking that's Kylo at that point? Because stuff he has shown in The Force Awakens with his Force powers, I don't see them as that all-powerful to cause something like that. Or do you think that's just a misdirection again?
No, I think it is Kylo. I think it's just I think they're trying to pump up Kylo a bit more, make him seem a bit beefier. Because let's face it, a lot of people are like, Kylo's a bitch. So the only way to fix that's by like, all right, we have time to revamp and kind of make him seem more badass. I mean, come on, think about it. They moved the location of his face scar to make him look like less of a bitch.
True, and there is that scene where it looks like he's destroying his
Helmet.
Vader style helmet thing.
Sorry, it's the Knights of Ren. That was what the helmet's supposed to be, but really it just looks retarded. But now we got Porgs. Got our first image of Porgs being Porgy, I guess. I don't know. And we get to see Finn.
They're gonna be all over.
Finn
the
take on
goddamn
Phasma.
place. I'm looking forward to that scene, but I fail to see that how Finn's gonna win out of that one.
It's possible he took some training.
It is possible, but I really
Plus,
want.
is Phasma really that much of a badass?
And
Fuck the backstory comics or whatever side stories,
that's what I'm
but
saying.
she was kind of a bitch in the first one.
She didn't do anything in Force
Except get
Awakens.
captured.
Yes, and so that's why I want to see that they hyped up this character so much in 7, and she did nothing. And yes, you can go to the backstory and read the comics and whatnot.
And I think people
haven't read
got
them
pissed
yet,
and they're trying to fix it.
but I want to see what this character can do. What garners her to have that title and that armor. I want to see that happen, and apparently we're going to. So.
And we're also supposed to see the Red Guards be badasses for once.
Yeah, there was a couple scenes, not scenes, but clips that was revealed of them in a very samurai-esque armor aspect. So it's curious to see how that's going to work out.
See
I mean,
Snoke's
given
guards.
the fact that Snoke himself does not look like he can, move
Protect
around
himself.
easily, so have something like that makes more sense. All in all, it looks badass. I'm looking forward to this. I already bought us our tickets for it, so we shall let you go.
Yeah, like 2 hours later, and they're already like, midnight screenings and all this other shit sold out.
Come on, there's a 1:30 a.m. show and we can go. No? Okay.
Like, man, I got shit to do the next day.
Yeah. We're not gonna go, any deeper into breaking down this trailer because everybody else has done so. We just have our opinions about it.
Oh, dude, did you hear there's actually a story that was like another expanded universe story that goes on to be like, the strongest Jedi during the time of the prequels is actually Qui-Gon Jinn.
I've heard that. Yes.
It would make sense
It would.
because he was technically like the first gray Jedi. Well, the closest we've seen to a gray
Closest
Jedi.
to it, yeah.
Especially because I even remember having like the weird like young adult books growing up. Not young adult, like dystopian future. We're gonna make a movie out of this starring Joe Random. Like young adult, like it was one step away from being like a golden book with a spine. But like, Qui-Gon Jinn was like, no, I do drugs, I do this, I do that.
Yeah.
The mentality of what the council doesn't know won't hurt him. And it's like, holy crap, you're awesome. Way to go, Liam Neeson.
Yeah. I mean, we can also dive into everything that's happened in Knights of the Old Republic, but that's not canon anymore until they finally bring that back. So
Good, because I never played it.
So much fun. So much fun. I know. But as you can see from our background, 'tis the season for the holidays, and of course I'm talking about Halloween, and it is great.
Spooky season.
The air is getting nice and cold anymore.
Crisp.
Oh, it's so nice. And of course, 'tis the season for plenty of just
Horror.
good and bad horror films. You've been on a path so far. How many movies have you watched? How many horror movies have you watched this season?
New, 15.
Total.
16. Wait, we're only counting October, right?
Yes, we're only counting October.
15.
15?
Because remember, I started like in September, where it's like I was watching a few here and there.
Just to prep yourself, to get yourself
Yeah, a
ready.
little amuse-bouche, a little appetizer to whet the appetite.
There you go.
And then ever since then, it's been on a warpath.
Out of everything you've watched so far, I know you're going to watch plenty more because we're only halfway through this month.
Well, here's the thing. Like, in high school, it used to be very much like watch as many as you can. And then, like, for a couple years, it was watch 31 movies for every day of October.
A movie a night, yeah.
And that became rough because I kept running out of shit. And now it's just kind of, it's 20. And I'm already, again, it's the 12th, I think, today?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the 12th, and I'm already on 15. Or 16 if you count one of the rewatches.
But you also watch, sometimes a couple a night, so.
So far this week, I've watched 2 a night, with the exception of today.
Well, there you
just
go.
because I'm here.
Out of everything you've watched so far, with the exclusion of what we're about to review in a moment, what have you enjoyed the most so far?
The Alien franchise.
Okay.
The franchise being just 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sorry, Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. Because after that, it goes to Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator 2, Requiem. And then it goes to Prometheus.
Right.
Which I don't even know if I want to count that. But it's the same universe, so I will.
Okay.
And then from there, you have the new one, which was Covenant.
Okay.
But I watched 1 through 4. Those were all pretty solid. I can definitely see why it's as big as it is, especially because Alien and Aliens were actually really fucking good, and it was cool to see a strong female character. 3 was actually pretty interesting to watch. Three is like revered for being the worst one. But
I'm hearing that this is not your
no,
take
and it was terrible.
Okay.
But knowing all the backstory, and it's like, okay, this is what script 1. This is script 1. This is what the movie was supposed to be. Studio didn't like it, so they had to scrap it. Okay, this is script number 2. The new director got pissed off, the director got pissed off because they changed his entire story around, so he fucking left. Well, shit, so they rewrote it a 3rd time. And then they couldn't even find a director, so they found some plucky new guy who's only done like music videos and like one other movie, and that was David Fincher. David Fincher's gone on record to say, I disown that movie entirely. He's like, I know my name's on it, but knowing what I know now, I would have said no. And the weird part is, knowing script 1 and 2, there's random elements that make no sense that carried over to 3. So all the shit that doesn't make sense in the version we saw is like, oh, these fucking prison inmates are super religious because script 2 was supposed to be them crashing on like this planet where they have no weapons because they're at a monastery.
Right. Okay. So basically you're watching 3 not so that it's just at a standalone horror flick, but like, let's watch this amalgamation of all this shit falling apart.
I watched it. I'm like, this movie's really bad. There has to be a reason for it. So then I paused it, read all the shit about it, like a good hour later, restarted the movie again and went, oh, fuck. Okay. Knowing this movie would actually, if I had it, versions 1 and 2 were leagues better than the one we got, but unfortunately because producers and the studio got involved, what we got was a giant steaming pile of shit.
Yeah.
And then 4 was just bad, but it was like entertaining bad, like it wasn't even horror anymore. Like the first one is probably the only one, Alien's probably the only one I'll ever actually consider horror, like just blatant full out horror. 2 is more action horror, like it's like, oh cool, there's some scary elements in this, but it's, I mean, come on, the movie fucking ends with Sigourney Weaver basically duct taping a flamethrower to an assault rifle and then screaming her famous line, get away from her, you bitch. Which she said in the first movie, except now it's not geared towards her fucking cat. It's geared towards an actual little girl, which is another thing that pissed me off and pissed a lot of people off, including James Cameron again. He mentioned it's like, that was the biggest slap in the face from Alien 3, was these characters that I developed and built, you murdered them in the span of 10 minutes. And we never even see them. You murdered these characters that we built and were hyping up, and you murdered them because you didn't want to use them.
Yeah.
What else have I watched? Fuck, there's a lot. A lot of weird 80s horror, like Pumpkinhead, Puppet Master 1 and 2.
What's the one you watched the other day? Halloween Tales?
Yeah, last night I couldn't stop laughing because 2 of the movies I came across, one was called Tales of Halloween, and the other one was called Halloween Tales.
No relation to either, right?
None.
Okay.
Nothing remotely the same.
So are they more like an alternate version of like Goosebumps, or like a collection of short stories?
Well, they're supposed to be just a series of short stories that are supposed to be scary or whatever.
Okay. I take it by your comments they were not scary.
Well, the first one is exactly what I mentioned earlier in the Goosebumps reference. It's like, it's just a series of like short stories that almost like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, okay.
Where instead of, you have the Midnight Society, you have fucking Catwoman, Adriana Barbeau basically is like a DJ talking about random scary stories. And then it's just a series of like horror stories or scary shit that happens in this one town, apparently all on the same night, and it's actually it's kind of entertaining. Like the beginning is actual like horror and kind of cool and spooky, and then near the end it's just like, fuck it, it's like we're just gonna make it over the top and ridiculous. Like one of them is like a Jason Voorhees character basically fighting or like killing this one like slutty girl, but then she gets resurrected by aliens, and it's just these 2 like unkillable forces just trying to attack each other.
Oh.
Again, it's like we're just going wacky with this, and it makes no sense.
So are they taking hints from like Sharknado or
kind of? Oh. But like I said, that movie, Tales of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 stories in like a 90-minute movie.
Oh, so it's going by
Yeah,
fast.
like it's
Okay.
you don't get to sit there and be like, oh yeah, that was Dennis in movie number 2.
You don't have a nice, intro picture, if you will.
No. There's no like Twilight Zone entrance.
Okay.
It's just kind of like, for all you boys and girls worried about eating too much candy, this next one's gonna really hit your sweet tooth. Like weird, bad, cheesy puns. And then like
I mean, props on the puns, but at the same time.
And then like, 'cause again, all these are introduced by her. And then the second one I watched was so fucking bad. It's without one of the worst. It's the only terrible movie I've seen so far, out of the 15. And that's saying something, because I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Which itself is not good by any.
That's entertaining, because it's really over the top. Like literally, the end of the movie is Dennis Hopper with like a bandolier belt, like it's like the crisscrossing belts with like 2 tiny chainsaws attached to the bottoms of each.
What?
And then like a giant like 3-4 foot long chainsaw, and he has like a sword fight with chainsaws with Leatherface at one point. It's, oh my god. Oh, what oh god. I was hammered when I watched that movie. Fucking brilliant. Which it feels like the only way to watch that movie.
Well, as with most horror movies at that point, yeah.
I also watched a Korean horror movie, Train to Busan. Really good. A lot of the zombie movies I watched, because there was a few of them actually, they're all the 28 day later zombies, where it's more like it's an infection and they run.
Yeah, they're not like the and
yeah,
slowing
they're
down.
not
It's
slow
like they
moving.
will sprint at
Yeah.
you and.
But the one from the Train to Busan, it's actually really cool, because when you see them infected, they'll like contort, and when they get back up, like it looks like a bad breakdancer, but it's really cool and actually kind of scary the way they kind of.
All right.
And then I watched one called The Girl with All the Gifts. Really good. It's a British one. What We Become is a fucking Danish one that's okay. It was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot so far, and I'm probably nowhere near being done. I just bought the Halloween movies because I've only seen the first one, so now it's time to go watch the other 7. So I mean, at this point, I'm already ahead of the game. I might go for the full 31.
You have the time. I mean,
It's only the 15th, man. I still got 16 more days to pump out 16 more movies.
you could easily
Dude,
do
and
that.
on top of that, Hulu just recently added like almost all the old Godzilla movies.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So like Mega Godzilla, Mothra, those are all on
'Cause I
there.
know recently they did all the Gamera films, which is the giant turtle
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Which is weird. They never actually fought.
No, they did not. It was just different styles.
Well, they're both Toho films. The only difference is like those are their 2 big ones, but they never actually.
But
I think they may have in promo shits, but I don't think they've ever actually.
actually fought. No, I
Yeah.
don't. Maybe in Godzilla 2000, where he took on all other comers. I think maybe in that one. But speaking of Gamera, the original English dubs are just bad. It's classic Toho kaiju flick. If you enjoy them, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
But when it first came out here, a now defunct company called ADV did the dubs. They did a bunch of anime back in the past as well. But what they did is they created a secondary track where they kind of did like a Ghost Stories kind of bit, where they just told the crew and all the cast, this one doesn't have to make sense. Go.
Oh, so Ghost Stories.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was freaking hilarious. Because they turned Gamera into like some country hick boy, and it worked for what it was. It was absolutely
All right.
ridiculous.
But yeah, no, I still
I'll
have a
have
lot
to-
of work.
I'll
I
have to
still have a
find
lot
out.
more movies to watch.
Well, speaking of the one that we just watched just a couple days ago,
It.
which finally saw it. After when we saw it, it already garnered $603 million worldwide. About 350 of that was domestic, and it's still just climbing box office charts, and for good reason.
Yeah.
That was a really enjoyable
I mean,
film.
For a scary movie, there is 2 moments in which I laughed, which I know wasn't supposed to. But I mean, other than that, like it was a really, really good movie.
Yeah, I mean the pacing was good. All the kids, all the acting of the kids was stellar.
Especially that kid from Stranger Things.
Hearing him curse.
Dude, that was weird. That and like the big Coke bottle glasses, but still, like other than that, like
Though, okay, with that character though, Richie, it was one of those things you look at him and go, he is obviously the
comic relief.
the geekiest comic relief you have in this film. But then he also had some scenes where he was trying to be like the biggest badass of them all.
He wasn't
kinda
trying.
pulled
He
it off.
was.
So it's like, Are you okay? We're just gonna jump into both of these. Sure, let's go
Was
for
it
it.
fuck Billy? Okay, you know what? Maybe walk around through shit. Maybe come down here. Gonna get me killed. Now I have to kill this fucking clown. He just picks up the baseball bat and goes after him like, yup.
Oh god.
Way to go, Stranger Things.
Oh, it was good. It was good.
But like Pennywise's weird like dancing.
yeah, that weird thing like in his lair.
That because
with
weird.
Beverly.
Yeah, because it kind of looks like why are you dancing like Miley Cyrus when you got cut lip syncing?
Yeah.
Like that was all I could think of.
Well, okay. Here's the thing though. Did you ever see the original TV movie with Tim Curry?
Years ago, but yeah.
It was a long, long time ago.
Like I think I rented it when Netflix still did discs.
Oh wow. Okay. But with that one, you had something with Tim Curry's version that he was still a clown. He was still funny.
Yeah.
At times, he was still a bit silly. This one,
Which made it kind of scarier though, like it worked to his advantage.
It did though. Like the whole thing, like he would be, being a clown, jumping around and whatnot, and make the kids like,
Yeah, like-
oh cool, you're a clown, you're funny, I'll get close to you.
Yeah, like
and
there's that scene in the library. It's like, do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do. You better let him out. Ha ha.
yeah.
It's like, what is this?
But it's the whole thing is that with the Tim Curry version, you had that sense of he is a clown and we'll have some funny, and then he jumps in and becomes very scary at times. With this was almost just straight.
It was closer to the book.
It was closer to the book, but
I think I haven't read the book in fucking years.
Yeah.
And again, I was a fucking child, so I didn't understand a lot of it. But I remember.
But I look at like
reading
one of the original scenes of Georgie, reaching down
Yeah.
and trying to go, and the whole thing with Pennywise down the sewer talking. That wasn't really something that you would hear from a guy in a sewer.
Yeah.
That would make a kid go, "I'm gonna still talk
Yeah.
to you." It's like, no, you're in the sewer. Why the fuck are you down there? Let's walk away.
Well, that's the whole point. Like Georgie's a kid, like he doesn't understand or have that.
True.
And they kind of made a point where it's like he didn't really trust Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was the fear of what was gonna happen to Billy.
So
he's like, I need the boat back. Because that's why Pennywise even says, like, isn't Billy going to kill you if you don't get it back?
That's true. But I'm bringing this up because I'm going back to
that was his fear.
But I'm bringing this back up to back in his lair with Beverly went down there and he started doing that whole dancing thing and whatnot. And I'm like, I looked at him and that doesn't
this thing's
make
really out of place.
Yeah, it does not make much sense. And I understand that, listening to the music and seeing how it was edited, it wasn't designed
By the way,
to be...
spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen it by now, fuck you.
Yeah, they all float down there. But the whole thing just seems, like you said, so out of place. But once you snapped out of that, it went back to, okay, you're Pennywise. Okay,
Yeah.
now this makes
I
sense.
like
where
that,
you're
like,
going.
his eyes would, like, occasionally drift, because he's not a clown. He is an alien, I think.
Yeah.
That's why he's
Shapeshifter, blah, blah.
Yeah. But, like, the entire time you'd see Pennywise's eyes just kind of, like, drift off
Mm-hmm.
and, like, fuck her off, and he's like, blink, okay.
But a lot of that, honestly, wasn't CG with the eyes.
Some of the eyes were, yeah.
Okay, because the actor himself, Bill Skarsgård, can actually... He does have a lazy eye if he doesn't focus, right? Yeah, so he goes off a
Okay,
little
there's a
bit.
difference between lazy, like Bernie Mac, where it just kind of fucks off to the side, and where his, like, iguana style just kind of
Oh, no,
twerking
that
up.
one's obviously...
Yeah, that's
with,
I'm
with
like,
the
that's what
CG
it was.
itself.
And also, again, I have to bring this up every goddamn time. When they're in the abandoned house, and, like, Pennywise is just wrecking shit. Like, he just fucked up Eddie. And, like, when Billy tries to stop him, and he's like, oh, is it not real enough for you? It's really enough for Georgie? I'm like, really, dude? Oh, way to sound like a pissed off ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, no
Like,
kidding.
we're gonna get in a fight. It's like, oh, it's not big enough? Your best friend took it just fine. It's like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, no, there was definitely several aspects of it to where they almost forced some of the scenes to actually move forward. But other than that, overall, it was a...
No, the movie was fantastic.
It was a great movie. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I can't wait till 2019 where we see Chapter 2 of it.
The kid's all grown up.
If we had this conversation in the car coming back from the theater after watching it. With Chapter 2, it's going to be 27 years later. We're going to have a whole new cast. The kids will be back for flashback scenes.
Yeah.
But with the whole new cast, do we want A-name actors or do we want no names for these roles?
I wouldn't say no names or even or not even A-listers. I'd be cool with like the occasional B-lister, kind of like what they did for the kids, where it's like, oh yeah, there's Stranger Things, or like some of these people we've seen in other things, but nothing would be like, oh yeah, you were in that movie and it was awesome.
True. I mean, I can see that. Having A-listers and something like that, I think...
Bring back Seth Green as one of the adults.
Would take away... Oh, God. I think just having people who are recognizable people in those characters, I think will pull away
Detract
from
from the
character
overstory.
itself. Yeah, it'll no longer be about, all right, the kids have grown up, they're coming back to finish the job. It's
But
against
you know what I mean?
Pennywise.
Like that's what I mean though. Like not full blown A-listers. Maybe the stranger kids, where it's like, okay, I've seen you in something that's cool. We'll bring
Right.
you back. You know, like fucking if you have Sophie Turner come back as older Beverly, like okay, cool, I could see that. Like you know her as that one thing, but you don't fucking remember her actual
Right.
name or anything.
Something like
strong.
that, I'm fine with
Yeah.
it. Be not like
Fuck,
saying,
like Greg Grumberg.
or
Okay,
but I'm not-
we all know the guy. Like if I showed you a photo, you'd be like, oh, that bitch. But if I say his name, 90% of people are like, who?
yeah.
Even you're probably staring at me blankly.
But I look at more along the lines of like, if they brought like, Angelina Jolie or something like that.
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
no, no,
why?
no.
There's no
No
reason
need for that.
it. Yeah, just stick back to the story and whatnot. Keep it to the same relative budgets that you had for it one.
Yeah.
And I think if you treat everything not as a, okay, the first one made a boatload of money, let's just double and triple everything right
Yeah.
now. If you keep it back and keep it humble, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the Deadpool effect.
Yeah.
What happens when the studio's not completely in charge and they're like, we're going to cut your budget? They still churn out something amazing.
Yeah. Oh, you cut this budget? Okay, we'll make it work. Oh, you cut it again? We'll still make it work. And guess what? We made a boatload of money, so
Yeah.
quit telling us we don't know what we're doing.
The only flip side to that, I'm scared because in certain situations like that, that's how you end up with, Batman Returns or Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
Or 3, or 4, or 5.
Well, no, more or less where it's like that weird thing that we were scared of doing turned out to work. So now it's like just fucking go for it because that made us money last time. And then it goes too far.
But the
Like,
problem
at
is,
what
if it
point
goes-
do you start reining it back in?
the problem is, you can say that and say we need to pull this back because it's going way out there. It's too far out there. The studios will go, it made it how much money? No, keep on doing exactly what you're doing.
That's what I'm saying. That's the
Yeah.
problem, though.
You're making money in exchange for having just a very piss poor plot. at that
Exactly.
point,
Like
yeah.
I'm afraid of that.
Yeah. Well, we talked a lot about it, which is understandable. It was
Well, I also went on a tangent of all the horror shit that I've seen.
that is true. I haven't really watched any horror films this.
Fucking get good. Maybe Saturday.
Well, we'll have to watch something this weekend. I've been kind of busy with my other endeavor that I started about 3 weeks ago.
Good God,
For
man.
whatever reason, I don't know what got over me. I was literally sitting at my desk going, I've given this a shot before. Why not? Let me give it another shot again. I'm trying to catch up on One Piece, which has 809 episodes and I think 10 or 11 movies.
Dude, I still need to watch this new episode of Food Wars, which I think came out today.
Came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making decent progress. I'm not just trying to sit there like every waking moment I have to watch it to try to binge it as fast as possible. I've tried that before and I've
You get burnt out.
burnt out very quickly. The last time I tried that was probably a few years ago, and I got to like episode 160, and I gave up after that. This time I'm watching it here and there between and breaks at work or I'm home relaxing. There's nothing going on. I'll watch it. I'm already on episode 380 something. 83.
You've been
I
going for like a
wanna say.
month and a half, right?
No, I've been going for like 3.5 weeks. I've been doing approximately 100 episodes a week. But if you
Nice.
cut out like the intro sections and the cut out at the end and whatnot, each episode's maybe 15 to 18 minutes long.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah, so you can get through them fairly quickly. And the fact that I'm watching it at laughably a leisurely pace compared to other people, it is enjoyable. It's absolutely crazy. And it's kind of funny the timing of it right now. Now we're in the Halloween season. Right now the season I'm in is called Thriller Bark, where they're actually in this haunted ship and this giant...
Is that the one where the GIF comes from, where like the one dude pops out and Luffy's like, no?
Yeah, like push you back down. Yeah, that's exactly where it
Okay.
comes from. So it's kind of like the good timing on that. I am enjoying it. If I keep this up, I should probably be done by the end of the year. The problem is, though, we'll have to see if it still keeps my interest that long. So we'll have to see.
Well, maybe you'll have a lost situation where you're like, I've spent too much time. We need to see how this train goes down.
At this point, kind of, yeah, it's at that point.
If you're at the halfway point, you know.
Yeah. If I can get to around the episode 400 by next week, we're sitting there going, oh, there's actually a downside now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we might as well talk about it since I can hear Jess watching it.
Yeah, let's talk about the top story about this. McDonald's last week decided to try to capitalize as much as possible on the Rick and Morty phenomena with the Szechuan sauce, and say we're going to bring it back for one day only to help promote their new chicken tender things, whatever they were.
Buttermilk tenders.
Yeah. So not only was it bringing back Szechuan sauce, but they decided to have like posters for it, and we'll keep different designs. And then like the day before it came out, they said, "Oh no, we'll only have the Szechuan sauce in very limited quantities at certain locations."
Yeah.
Which pissed off a lot of people. Number one.
I'm one of them.
Number two, when a lot of these people, some people actually crossed a couple states. Some people drove down from Canada to find these locations, thinking that, okay, cool, McDonald's should know that
What they're getting
everybody
into.
wants the Szechuan sauce, which was mentioned once in in the first episode of season 3
Yeah.
of Rick and Morty, and was never heard from again.
Yeah.
We'll get to that part in a moment. People showed up after driving for hours on hours to find that some of these locations only had like maybe 20 or 30 packets, not boxes, packets of the Szechuan sauce. People lost their shit. A lot of it was anger and stress. Like, I wasted all this time and some money for transportation to get to these places.
Yeah,
to
Lauren and
try
I
this
drove
out.
an hour, but we also hit a bunch of traffic on the way there. But we
Fair
drove an hour to get there and got nothing.
Yeah.
Because when we showed up, literally, they're like, "Oh yeah, they passed out vouchers last night because people were already in line."
Oh, wow.
First off, when we got there, he dropped me off to go get in line because we started to notice there's security trying to escort people out. Be like, "No, this is how you leave. Go."
Right.
And then we got there. That's how I found out about they're doing vouchers. People were there from the night before. If you didn't get a voucher, you ain't getting shit.
Right. Which is bullshit because none of that was on the website
Yeah.
at all. So no one knew about that unless you were there the night before.
When I walked back to the car to try to meet up with my buddy Lauren, there were 2 sheriff's police department cars trying to deal with shit. And that was just one small one in Bellflower, California. Not to mention, other places like San Jose where you have assholes chanting, "We want sauce, we want sauce."
Yeah.
You showed me some video earlier of some asshole apparently like standing on the counter yelling, "Give me sauce, I'm Pickle Rick."
Yeah, and just being a complete douchebag
Yeah.
about all of this. Which led to a response by Justin Roiland, who turned around and publicly stated, "Yeah, we had nothing to do with this. McDonald's did this without even consulting with us whatsoever. They're not using any of our license or contract or even art for this. They try to copycat it as
Yeah.
much as possible."
They just try to legally fudge as much as you could.
Yeah, to release this, and they handle it like shit. People who are working at McDonald's, please treat them with respect because they're not the ones who fucked up on this.
Yeah, that was like the finishing touch on Justin Roiland's tweet, where he made the comment. It's like, "Look, we had nothing to do with this. We're sorry for the way this is being handled. Please be kind to the employees."
But the
which
experience-
none of the fans actually
Yeah,
did.
the experience you got was all over the country, unfortunately. And with the subsequent videos that we saw as well, leads to our main topic is why fandoms can ruin everything. And this is not just limited to Rick and Morty. The problem is...
People ruin things.
Yes. You can be a fan of a series or a group or whatever have you. And you can also be a diehard fan. And that's
Basically,
perfectly
fandoms
fine.
are awesome, but they also have their dark side.
Yes, there are. A phrase I've used for so many years, especially with anime and manga, is that I love the art, hate the fans. Because you put them in a large group, and I'm not talking about just at a convention and whatnot, but I think like at a public situation like this, once you get a bunch of like-minded individuals, possibly with the most part, when you get these hardcore fandoms together,
You got the fuel.
you have the people who they don't have all the great social skills. Not trying to say these people are degenerates and whatnot. Some of them are, but I look at it more along the lines of you don't have the good social skills. You've banded together with people, most likely online, to share your passion for something, and because you think as a group you can get away with stuff you couldn't get away with at home,
Strength in numbers.
it's a, like I said, it's fuel to the fire. They
Well,
see the quick little spark.
it's fuel. You just need that one asshole to be the spark, and then suddenly everyone's safe. And you have mob mentality.
And it gets ugly really fast. And if you look at a lot of the people who enjoy Rick and Morty are like us. We enjoy it. We watch it.
I assume. I don't know. I don't know very many fans of Rick and Morty, but the few people I know who enjoy the show, we all seem to get along.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's also the giant dark side where people, it's like, "Oh, you don't like Rick and Morty? You just don't know." Like, it's weird. Like, I don't think I've ever seen like such an elitist
Yeah.
fan base before.
Especially when you look at the character that all these people are idolizing, Rick Sanchez. He is the smartest man in the universe, but he's also the biggest asshole in the universe too. And so I can easily see a lot of people looking at that character saying, he's an asshole, but he's right, so he can get away with whatever he wants. I'm just like him. I can do the exact same thing. I can be an asshole too if I'm just confident enough in what I do.
Even I thought about that. I think the problem is people, and I think Dan Harmon's even gone on record as saying, like, a lot of you seem to love the show, but you keep getting it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're missing the point of it.
Like the whole thing about the Szechuan sauce. It was a one and done thing that we joked about it. And we even made our own Szechuan sauce, and that was fun, but then we left it at that.
Yeah.
There are some people who thought there was deeper meaning behind that, and that I'm going to find a way to, bring this campaign, to bring Szechuan sauce back. And the problem is, at that point, some marketing moron in McDonald's went, look at all this free publicity. I bet you we can just treat this like any other campaign we've done for all the hip kids out there, and we're just going to make boatloads of money.
They're missing the mark on the nihilistic parts of Rick. Like,
but
all they see is the Pickle Rick, which honestly, that's probably my least favorite episode of the season.
I liked that episode, but I actually more liked what was going on in the therapist's office than it was actually the Pickle Rick stuff.
But you know what I mean? Like, people are focusing on the wrong aspects.
Yes.
Of what makes Rick great. Or at least that character.
But like you were bringing up a moment ago, the whole nihilist attitude, the personification of nihilism is Rick. Yes.
I mean, think about the episode where Beth finds out she's more like Rick than she realizes.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, nothing matters. They've made that abundantly clear since the beginning. But what happens? People immediately forget that he's mentioned, nothing matters. Everything is terrible. Get over it.
Yes.
But instead, what happens? No, Szechuan sauce. That's what we need to focus on. Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
No, you're missing the fucking point.
Pickle Rick, he's a badass. He does whatever he wants. He can turn to a pickle and,
you realize at the end of the episode, he still had to go crawling back to his daughter because he realized he still needs his family.
Mm-hmm. They're not catching all of these aspects. And I'm not trying for us to sound elitist on this, but it was just like...
I'm disappointed in my fandom. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, that's the way to look at it. And, of course, McDonald's, they had to come out and make a big apology, which was still half-assed for the sole fact that they tried to interject more Rick and Morty quotes into their response, which still had nothing to do with the cast and crew of Rick and Morty. But basically saying that we'll bring it back in larger quantities for a longer period of time, quote-unquote, this upcoming winter. So,
dude, did you know how there's the big Omaze campaigns?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about the one that Justin Roiland announced, like, basically the day after the McNugget thing went to shit? Or it was like the day before the McNugget thing went to shit. His Omaze, basically, there's a first place, second place, and a third place. Second and third place is like exclusive, like just shit, like T-shirts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
First place is basically Justin Roiland is offering to pay to fly you out to LA, meet them, have a McNugget party with the remaining Szechuan sauce that they have, and then the last part of it, which is the big cool thing I found, was they made the comments like, brush up on your jokes because the day you come down is where we're going to do the DVD commentary for season 3 and you're going to be in it.
No shit, that's actually pretty badass.
So that was their big Omaze thing. All proceeds going to Planned Parenthood.
So, but
yeah, I'm like, Justin Roiland, why are you proving that you're just more and more awesome?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Jess. Stop ruining things I enjoy.
But we spent enough time on Rick and Morty with its horrible fandom. There's unfortunately, this is not a singular incident. It's been happening across multiple fandoms.
Mm-hmm. I'd say probably the last one was probably Doctor Who. Remember when all like the fans came out? It's like, Doctor Who's a woman now. Done.
Oh,
it's
God.
Like, really?
Yeah.
They've been mentioning this for decades now, and now you're just butthurt.
And they definitely hinted at it more than once with the last season with Missy. Mm-hmm. But things can go way too far, especially like, for example, video games. Any of the first-person shooters, specifically Call of Duty, you get into those, online death matches, and tempers rise, and most of the voice chat is done by 13-year-olds who think they can curse as much as they want, and it makes them an adult. Times they take it way too far. There was an incident, and I'm singling out one, but this has happened multiple times, where a kid got his ass beat in Call of Duty, and so he spent a little bit of time in his anger going online, finding that other kid who beat him, his name, his home address, the local PD, or the sheriff's office there, called a bomb threat on there based from their house, and did a thing called swatting, which is basically when you call in a bomb threat or something like that, the SWAT team will show up because they have a quote-unquote credible threat. They will break down the kid's door down. They will arrest the kid and the parents and search the entire house, basically bringing them to the lowest common denominator. And the kid starts laughing his ass off online at this.
By the way, does anything happen to the kid who threatened this?
No, yeah, he got picked up. He's in juvenile hall or something like that right now. Yeah, but this has happened numerous times, unfortunately, and so this was a big issue. I think about a year and a half ago. That's fucking ridiculous. Oh, video game. Even worse, another cartoon, Steven Universe, a show that apparently is ridiculously popular. I've never seen a single episode of it. I know it's on, I think, Cartoon Network.
I don't think it's still going.
Yeah.
Special Snowflakes loved it.
Because they all go into DeviantArt and they put themselves into it, and that's fine. You want to have some fun with that. You want to express your creative ideas online. That's fine. I support that 100%. Yeah. The problem is there was a 15-year-old girl who drew one of the characters, I have no idea who, in a different body shape than they normally showcased on the show. A lot of people hated it so much, harassed this 15-year-old girl to the point where she actually attempted to commit suicide. Went to the hospital and everything afterwards. Who the fuck in their right mind does this stuff? I don't understand that fandom. When you get to that point of I am, here, I enjoy this, I'm around like-minded individuals, I want to have a conversation, I want to see what you do, I may disagree with something.
How dare you not like or believe what I believe?
Yeah. This is not life and death. You like something.
Yeah, but some motherfuckers turn into like a religion. You don't believe what I believe, you're going to hell, and I'm going to make sure you go there.
YouTube followers are one of the worst ones about that, especially like the PewDiePie followers. They jump into that shit. You go online and say something about their Lord and Savior, man, you got 100,000 people doxing you, finding your information, trying to find out a way to get at you and try to hurt you as much as possible because you wronged their god. I don't care what you want to call them. But you have the same thing with otakus. You have the same thing with bronies. You have
filthy weebs.
Supernatural fans, Sherlock
fans. Supernatural fans are funny.
A lot of them are, yes.
Because I'll have to admit, I do enjoy the Tumblrs. Because my favorites, they're always like, God damn. Was it Come at me, Supernatural fans. Let's see if you have a GIF for this one. Boom.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you have a GIF for everything?
And they know where it's at, and they have it cataloged perfectly.
Yeah, I can only assume they just have like the Encyclopedia Britannica of just like GIFs.
Something.
They're like, no, wait, that one works.
Mm-hmm. And it's like within 60 seconds, you already have a response to it. That part's funny as hell. You don't get too much into the negativity that I've seen so far.
I told you, Tumblr is Vegas. It's fun to visit. Don't spend too much time there. Shit gets weird.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like, if you're looking for a good pun or maybe, like, just to look up some shit in your fandom.
A good laugh for a quick moment.
30 minutes, an hour tops. You're there any longer than that, you gotta get the fuck out.
Yeah. You could say something about bronies, about furries, about any fandom. Could be about a cartoon, could be about a video game, could be about a music artist. All the fucking believers out there. Those, and, like, One Direction fans. I don't know what they call themselves. But anyways.
I couldn't even tell you. I think, do they have a... No, I have no
idea.
they
have a huge fan base.
No, I'm trying. I could even name one of their songs. It's like, no.
I can't. No. Could not.
Harry Styles is one of them, I think. I don't know.
Who knows? But they all boils down to enjoy what you enjoy. Just have some decent fucking common sense. And we wouldn't have as many of these problems out there.
We all love shit. That's what brought us together in the first place. Don't destroy love with hate, you dickbags.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
That's a terrible way of wording it.
It's a great way of saying it. I like it. Let's wrap up this episode with a couple quick hits and some news that we just want to bring up there. Beetlejuice 2 is somehow getting pushed forward, but not in a huge official capacity. They basically came out and announced that they brought in another writer to take another crack at the script.
What is it, writer number 9?
Something like that, some number. And unfortunately, this guy doesn't really have much of a resume. The guy named, and I'm going to mess up his name, is Mike Vukadinovich, Vukadinovich. He only has one writing credit beforehand. Was from some no-name film I've never heard of before called Rememory with Peter Dinklage. I've never heard of it before.
Well, Peter Dinklage hasn't done much. I mean, think about what has he done besides Game of Thrones?
That's all he needs to do.
Elf? You're an angry little elf.
Saturday,
Call me elf one more time.
Saturday Night Live, and that's about
Pixel?
it. Oh, God.
Yeah, that sweet mullet.
Oh, God. All right. But, yeah, I mean, so Beetlejuice 2, the script will be worked on right now. Will probably be released somehow in the next few months, and fans will just dissect it and tear it apart. That's what happens.
Dude, they've been talking about this for decades. Kevin Smith even did a pass at it years ago. Remember, he even made the joke. It's like, yeah, it was like Beetlejuice goes Hawaiian for some reason.
Well, whatever. It could happen. Moving on, Doctor Who. We've confirmed that obviously we have a female Doctor. We're looking forward to see how that's going to turn out. Usual things have been confirmed. Yes, there'll be a new TARDIS interior redesign. That's usually par for the course for a new Doctor. You'll have a new sonic screwdriver. That's par for the course for every new Doctor.
Good, because, Capaldi's lasted a season.
Yeah, if that. But the other thing is, it's kind of a hit and miss, is that we are going to have longer episodes for this season. The usual standard time frame for each episode
12.
The past was
12.
No, I'm saying it was 45 minutes.
Oh,
These
okay.
episodes are being clocked in at 60 minutes, so an extra 15 minutes of footage per episode. The downside to that, we're having a shorter season. Now, you were saying like past seasons had about 11, 12 episodes?
Yeah.
Not including the Christmas special?
Correct.
For this one, not including the Christmas special, we're going to have 10 episodes. I'm kind of fine with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's more Doctor Who.
Comes out about the same, and they even said the reason why they're doing it is because they want to be able to time on stories as opposed to just creating filler.
Right.
So they're just it's
I'm
not
all
it's
for
not
it.
shorter. It's reallocating.
Yeah, I think it works out well for what it's going to be.
I look forward to getting very awkward, confusing boners because Jodie Whittaker isn't a very attractive woman.
Yes, she is.
She made Black made rewatch is going to be weird. It's like, oh yeah, you were hiding, you did that sexy stuff in season 1, and now you're the Doctor. Huh.
Yeah. Disney announced a partnership with one of their teams, ILM, and The Void to create a Star Wars VR experience that'll be coming out to both Walt Disney World and the Disneyland Resort starting this January. In it, you and a team of 4 or 5 people will actually be completely immersed in a full virtual reality / physical world. Basically, you'll be in a full
VR laser tag.
Full outfit, VR helmet. You're carrying the PC on your back. You'll have a
VR
weapon.
laser tag LARPing.
I think it works. I'm looking forward to it.
That's exactly what it is, though.
But the whole thing is that you see VR, but you interact with physical objects.
That's why I said LARPing. Like, you have your actual shit, and you have laser tag, you get pew-pew guns.
I take out my Roman wizard hat. Anyways.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Too magic. It's going to be a ton of fun. You can check the preview online. Disney has a little teaser for you. Tickets are currently available. You can purchase them for both Walt Disney World and the Downtown Disney Resort at Disneyland. The tickets are about $30 to $35 a person. And they have these marked out in about 15-minute time slots. I'm not sure if that's a 15-minute experience or they're just timing everything out so you'll be in there for like a half hour, 45 minutes. But highly recommend you jump in there because tickets are going fast. I've already looked at a few of them thinking, oh, I can just get this for later. Refresh. This day has been sold out. Well, shit. So you can buy tickets there. It opens up January 5th, but just know that's going to be a much longer wait if you try to buy it in person. VR, tech, awesome stuff. Speaking of Disney, Disney has launched their new Movies Anywhere digital locker service. Basically, if you remember, they had the Disney or Disney Movies Anywhere thing, which is basically you can tie in like your Vudu account, your iTunes account, and all the Disney movies. You can see them in one spot, no matter what device you're watching it on. This is basically a much ramped up version of that, and they actually got a bunch of the other studios in onto this as well, like Fox and Sony. So if you have things like, Ultraviolet or Vudu, you don't need them anymore. This will basically take all of your existing purchases from all these movie studios. It's Warner Brothers, Universal, Sony Pictures, Fox, and Disney. All the films together, you bought them, whether it's on iTunes or any of these other places.
What if I bought a physical copy?
You probably have a digital copy code on there. That will work on
So if I don't have the code, I'm boned. Got it.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
But the way with this works is that now you can watch all of these, not just Disney films, anywhere. No, this is not what people were expecting from Disney when they said they were making their own streaming service. This is something completely different, but it's going to help Disney out in the long run. And the fact they have all the major studios backing them up on this is going to be around for quite some time.
See.
We'll see. We talked about this one a couple years ago. That a team from the USA was going to take on a team from Japan in an actual giant robot fight, a duel. It's actually happening.
Well, here's the thing. When we talked about it, I mean, me anyways, I was imagining like BattleBots back in the day, or like jackasses with just remotes doing stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, the trailer that they released earlier this week, it looks more like it's a giant mech suit.
Yes.
Like there's actual pilots inside.
It's mech v mech, two different teams, one in Japan, one in the United States. They've had 2 years now to work on their mechs. They're coming together for not only a...
If Japan doesn't yell shining fingers at some point, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, man.
You know my prerequisite now, Japan.
Okay, there you go. So apparently the battle has already happened. It was basically a bunch of contests plus an actual fight. Now, if you're thinking they're going to be jumping around like Gundams, this is kind of slow.
Yeah, slow moving.
But it's still impressive as hell to take a look at. Come on. It's fun.
Shining fingers.
Yeah, I know.
Put some hydraulics in like a hand and just have it stuck like this. Maybe it has some kind of torchy things where it heats up the hand first so it glows red.
There you go.
And then y'all just yell shining fingers or whatever it would be in Japanese. Just
there you go. It could be fun. But the event has already happened. It's Team Megabots for the U.S. and Team Pseudobots Heavy Industry from Japan. The event happened probably about a week and a half ago. Twitch is actually was there with the production team, putting everything together, recording everything, and now they're actually going to stream the entire event next Tuesday, October 17th at 7 p.m. Pacific, only on Twitch. So it's a smart thing to do. I'm definitely going to check this out.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting like, fight to the death, but it's going to be fun.
I'll watch the highlights the next day.
There you go. All right. Well, the last thing we're going to talk about, the cool thing for this episode, is something that, man...
Batman on Blu-ray!
I've been waiting for this for so long. Batman the Animated Series is finally getting a Blu-ray release. The entire 84-episode series is going to be released on Blu-ray in 2018.
I'm mostly, because I've yet to hear a price point. I am scared. So I remember when they released all the episodes of Batman on DVD, it's like, yep, you can buy the whole pack for $3. And it's like, ooh, no.
My guess is if they're doing an entire box set, and given how the cost of Blu-rays is nowadays, I'm guessing top end $150.
Still much.
I would still like it to be closer to under $100, but
yeah, like I'd hope for like the $50-$60 range,
which you never know. So I'm looking forward to this. Reading this article, we both skipped on a big fact that apparently
Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, one of the best, if not the best, Batman movie out there was put on Blu-ray. Was
the Rippers, we even fucking talked about it in a previous episode.
We did. We just never picked it up. So
yeah.
We found it. It's actually on Amazon for $16.
Yeah.
So go check that out if you haven't picked that up yet. And when this comes out in 2018, you know damn well one or both of us will be buying this.
Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. All right, guys. That's gonna be it for this full episode. We're over an hour long at this point. So
yeah,
good times. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us for Geeks and Drinks. I'm Jason.
I'm Jordan.
Cheers, Internet.